Hollywood in the 1920s was a dream factory, selling beauty and immortality one silent reel at a time. Silks shimmered under studio lights, stars dazzled on the silver screen, and the city promised a new kind of American myth. But beneath the glamour, scandals festered. Prohibition liquor flowed freely, whispered affairs carried weight, and studios fought desperately to keep the truth off the front page. Shadows stretched across the sound stages, heavy with secrets the camera never caught. And when those shadows slipped into the spotlight, the illusion cracked, leaving behind a darkness no studio could control. The House of Six presents Silks, Stars, and Shadows. Welcome to the House of Six. I'm Jen.
I'm Jared.
A lot of logistical changes. If you follow us, you know that normally we're in different screens, and now we are
Together.
That's
We're
awkward.
just kidding.
Yeah. So we've spent the last hour and a half moving the set around.
Well, yeah, it was necessary. But also, this is kind of what we want in our new layout.
Yeah.
Upcoming.
Yeah.
In our new studio / meaning our house.
New house, new us. And so yeah, we've been having. I had some camera and feed problem, frames per second, sound lags. It was a whole big yada yada yada. It looked like crap the last episode, maybe the last two because I haven't edited the next one yet. So sorry.
Good to know.
It was apparently the most boring episode that ever
Oh,
episoded.
that one. Sorry. That one. They might not ever see that one unless it's like...
I'm going to do a mini for it because you know what? You can see us being boring. You're welcome.
Are we going to be bored today?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
No.
No. Yeah, so that's a good segue. And today's case is one that pulled back the curtain on Hollywood. I swear I'm not going to do puns this time.
Yes, you are.
Not on purpose.
Okay.
Puns. And we are going back to the 20s. It's one of my favorite eras. The 20s, it's not the Depression part, but I do enjoy a good story from the 20s.
The Roaring 20s.
The Roaring 20s. And we are going to go into old school Hollywood, February 1922. Does the name William Desmond Taylor ring a bell?
Afraid not.
You don't know who that is?
Nope.
You don't watch silent films?
Not in a bit. And that was only, the Charlie Chaplin's. That was really the only one I know about. Sorry.
Yeah, I can respect the whole Charlie Chaplin situation as it were, but I'm not really into silent films. And also that slapstick, goofy comedy is not really for me.
I think that's all that was allowed, so let's just...
It was clean, good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, we are going to talk about William Desmond Taylor, who was a respected silent film director, and unfortunately he died.
Oh. Okay.
I know that's shocking. But his name, his stature, and what followed changed how studios handled their secrets. We're going to have to go back to the 1920s and give a little historical and social context so we can kind of paint this picture. We've done this for the 20s before, so I'm going to take a new angle. Sorry, it's going to get boring. Let's step back into Hollywood in the 1920s. The movie industry was still in its adolescence. Theaters had spread rapidly across the country, and silent films were the rage, peak entertainment. It was very exciting. And stars like Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, and Charlie Chaplin had become global icons. Now, if you think back to the tirade on Thomas Edison that I did, you will know why Hollywood ended up where it did. Edison dirtbag, and his motion picture patents company controlled film equipment on the East Coast, and independent filmmakers were getting hit with lawsuits right and left, and they were tired of it. They were tired of all the fees, so they fled west. And California at this time was settled, but still kind of a little bit raw. And they offered open land, cheap labor, yes, and plenty of sunshine for year-round filming. It is a beautiful part of the country.
Yeah,
How much have you spent in California?
a good bit.
That's helpful. That's the facts are coming in right and left, people.
I worked there for close to a year.
San
one time.
Diego.
Yep,
Yeah, I like San Diego. It's
Yeah.
really pretty.
Yeah.
I like San Fran, but you don't really care for it.
I really don't. Nothing against the people. I just don't. It's not one of my favorite cities.
I enjoy it. I really like the climate. When you go in June, it's quite chilly. You think it's going to be warm because of what you see in the pictures, but it's not. It's cold.
It was.
Wear a sweater. Take a cardigan. Cardigan.
Helpful tips.
Yep, I have them. Celebrity, wealth, fantasy, Hollywood was already serving this up in the 1920s. But it was also unregulated, chaotic, and dangerous to work on films. There were no ratings boards, no industry-wide codes of conduct. I mean, there in was there anywhere?
What the fuck just happened?
There wasn't much regulation at all in any industry, any employment industry. So nothing new. And so basically there was very little protection for actors and audiences alike. Studios churned out hundreds of pictures each year. Some were brilliant, some were absolute trash, and they were all competing for attention, and they really didn't care how they got it. Shocking. Scandals traveled super fast, and the public loved every second of it. This was the height of yellow journalism.
Yellow journalism?
Yellow journalism.
Yellow journalism.
We've talked about yellow journalism in the past.
Shit.
And if you will remember, the late 1800s and the early 1900s was a rampant part of yellow journalism where essentially they were selling any scandalous story that they could in order to get to sell more newspapers.
Okay.
And it's named after a bit in one of these things called the Yellow Kid. And I didn't, that's as far as I went.
No.
That's what it's named after, and that's why it's called yellow journalism. And it's essentially just scandal for headlines.
And if it was sold by Yellow Belly.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Wasn't that an old term? Yellow Belly?
That means that you're a coward.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's what
But it was an old
means
term.
to be yellow.
Okay.
I said it like the Old West.
You did.
Yeah.
Spot on.
I'm so good. So, anyways, just 1 year before the case that we're talking about today, there was this very sad case of Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. Does Fatty Arbuckle ring a bell? He was an actor back in this day.
Oh, okay.
He was a very big deal, and his name kind of says it all. Like, it kind of alludes to what you think he might look like.
Mm-hmm.
People are mean, and that's not nice, but that was his name. I didn't make that up.
Okay.
And he had been accused of assaulting an actress named Virginia Rape, which is a very unfortunate surname. He was eventually acquitted, and that whole case was super sordid. It was totally messed up. Maybe we'll do a case one day, maybe not, because I don't know. But essentially, he was acquitted after a trial, which, by the way, was an absolute national circus. But his career was ruined. Totally just, I mean, that's how it goes. And in addition to his reputation, Hollywood's reputation took a hit as well. Clergymen and civic groups began calling movies immoral. Politicians warned that Hollywood was corrupting American youth, and studio bosses, terrified of regulation because they'd been getting off scot-free this whole time, began to scramble for ways to clean up their image. At the same time, of course, Prohibition was in full swing, which is one of the most boring and controversial parts of our American history, is why the powers that be decided that nobody should drink alcohol except everybody that was doing it behind closed doors anyways.
Right.
Boo, don't like that. There's nothing wrong with drinking. There's nothing wrong with anything in moderation. And I stand by that. So anyways, on paper, alcohol was banned. In reality, we know very few people stop drinking. That is absolute bonkers. Let the people have what they want to have. In reality, speakeasies were the thing. And I can tell you right now, if I lived in the 20s, I would probably get arrested from the speakeasy every weekend. I don't drink that much. I'm just kidding. It's more about the...
I can see, like, running a speakeasy.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I want like a secret knock and a hidden door. Like in Beer Fest when he opens, he's like, password.
Right.
And then you yodel.
Right.
And then you get in.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
What's the password, boys?
Oh, that was a pretty good radio voice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. You sounded like the editor from Superman. Yeah. Not at all. I've never watched that. I just know of it from the original with Adam West. Wait.
No.
That was Batman. Whoops.
Yeah, that was Batman. Clark Kent. I mean...
No.
I'm screwing up, too. I meant, I had his name, and I just... we got to cut that out, because that was just stupid.
That's hilarious. I'm keeping it in. Anyways. Where was I at?
What was his name?
Adam West was back.
He was paralyzed because he fell off a horse.
Okay, first of all, that was the Superman from the movies. We're talking about the Superman from the TV show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yes, Christopher Reeves was the movie Superman, and he did fall off a horse, and he did get paralyzed. He was a quadriplegic. Yep. That was just a very sad situation. Anyways, back to Prohibition. Speakeasies flourishing, liquor flowed, and Los Angeles, of course, was at the root of all this. Stars and studio executives openly drank at parties because they were the people, and they knew they could get away with it. Drugs were making the rounds as well. It wasn't just alcohol. It was drugs, too. Cocaine and morphine.
Morphine. I was trying to think of when opium came into play, but...
Morphine is opium.
Oh.
In a different version, if you will.
Drugs.
Anyways, I'm surprised at the cocaine. I mean, I guess I knew that, but when I think of cocaine, I think of like the 80s.
Yeah, 70s.
Very
80s,
Wolf of Wall Street is what I think of.
Yeah.
Not at all my background, but what? I've never done drugs. The press fueled this image. Newspapers in the 20s were competing for circulation. And like we just talked about, sensational headlines sold the papers. Hollywood scandals practically printed money, frankly. Reporters started digging into the personal lives of stars. This is where we get the rise of the paparazzi. And they would exaggerate or outright fabricate details because the facts weren't always salacious enough. And they weren't selling. So they wrote about affairs, divorces, drunken brawls, and whispered rumors of crime. If a tragedy occurred, it was not just news. It was spectacle for the entire nation to see. This spectacle had power. When the Arbuckle case made headlines, ticket sales dropped across the industry. That's bad news, Bears.
No.
I know. So studios realized that the private lives of their stars could destroy box office profits. So they doubled down on control. And you hear about this, and I think mostly of Judy Garland and what was the famous kid? He was also in Breakfast at Tiffany's in a very racist portrayal of an Asian person because he was a white man. But anyways, I think mostly about Judy Garland, and when she got started in The Wizard of Oz, essentially she was forced to do drugs and caffeine pills and smoking. She was introduced to smoking when she was like, I don't know, 14, 16, whatever that was. They told her to smoke to lose weight. And just really, this is a timeline of the industry where they essentially had their claws into all of their stars, and they were beholden to contracts. They didn't have a choice. Right. I mean, everybody has a choice, but sometimes these people were essentially supporting their entire family and didn't, they're just doing whatever they could.
To be a movie star, you have to make sacrifices.
That's true. I don't know. I'm not a...
Yeah.
I'm working on being a podcast star. I can't also be a movie star. You can't do it all.
I understand.
You can't have it all.
I understand.
You just can't.
One step at a time.
we're working on it. And so executives began crafting carefully managed personas for actors, releasing stage publicity photos. They were planting flattering stories, and they were burying scandals as, whenever they could. So if someone got arrested, the studios had lawyers, and this is where the fixers came in, ready to intervene. If somebody died in suspicious circumstances, damage control came first. They didn't care about the truth. They didn't care about catching the bad guy. It was all about the narrative. And I think a lot too about many actors, male and female, that were gay in this time period, and they were forced into marriages and different types of relationships so that they could hide their true selves.
Right.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Right.
But here we are.
Okay.
You can jump in anywhere?
Yeah.
You're just going... we haven't gotten into the case yet.
Right. Oh, we've been all over the place right now so far.
This is who I am.
No, it's fine.
This is what I do. By 1922, this contradiction was at its breaking point. Public trust was very fragile at this point. Reformers were calling for federal oversight. Studios were desperate to prove they could police themselves with any outside intervention. And when the Fatty Arbuckle scandal erupted, the studios responded by hiring former Postmaster General Will Hayes to lead the newly formed Motion Picture Producers and Distributors of America.
Okay.
That is a mouthful.
Right.
Hayes promised to restore morality and respectability, though in truth, he was more about appearances than enforcement. He just really wanted to make everybody look good. It wasn't about what was actually happening behind the scenes. And his arrival marked the first step towards what would later become the infamous Hayes Code, which was a strict set of rules dictating what could and could not appear on screen. This would morph into the oversight that essentially tells you how many F words you can have.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. So
it would feed into that
Right.
later
Okay.
in later years, but that's not what this was
Yeah.
at the time. It was more about the image.
Okay. I didn't know. It's more probably about the story than anything. It's not like they were looking for a nip slip or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
would be clutch your pearls.
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness. My heart would go into palpitations
Right.
if we saw the Janet Jackson
Couldn't imagine that.
situation. Taylor himself, the guy where this episode is about, was a symbol of Hollywood reinvention. His career embodied the promise of Hollywood, which was the chance to escape one identity and create another under the glow of the screen. But when his life ended, that revealed what an illusion this was, and it was, frankly, this reality was impossible to ignore. Essentially, the press leapt onto the story as it had with Arbuckle, but this time it was not about an actor's reputation or a salacious rumor. It was about a man at the very heart of the industry, struck down in his own home. And in the weeks that followed, the coverage would spiral into one of the most infamous scandals Hollywood had ever faced. It was a riveting, gripping line.
Oh, you got me.
All right. Let's talk about the timeline. All right. William Desmond Taylor was not born in Hollywood. He was born this name, William Cunningham Dean Tanner.
It's very strong.
Yes, he was Irish, born in Ireland in 1872 into a very respectable family. In America, he reinvented himself once more as a ranch hand, then an antiques dealer, then a stage actor. None of those things equals the other. And then he vanished from New York in 1908, abandoning his wife and daughter. He's a stand-up guy. Years later, he reemerged in Los Angeles under a new name, trading scandal for stardom. And by the 1910s, Taylor was working steadily in silent film. He directed over 60 pictures. That's not a bad resume. Worked with stars like Mary Pickford, who was a very, very famous silent film star. And he became known for refinement in an industry that often looked very, very chaotic. He cultivated the image of a gentleman director, serious about his craft, respected by his peers, and trusted by studios. Indeed, but his private life was not so neat and respectable. He lived alone, but gossip tied him to many a young actresses, some men. He entertained often, read widely, and carried himself with an air of culture that set him apart from the rough and tumble movie colony. He was a man of secrets, but also stature. Until February of 1922, the shit unraveled. It did.
Shit on. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I hear you.
We're now in the
Right.
in the murder
Yeah,
phase.
yeah.
Okay.
Went from him being a gigolo to him being murdered. Got it quickly.
Nobody said gigolo. He was not
No, he
making
was,
money. He
no.
was just
He was making money, making movies, making people happy in a different way.
yes.
Yes.
That is correct. On the morning of February 2nd, 1922, Taylor's valet, of course he had a valet, whose name was Henry Peavy, entered Taylor's bungalow on Alvarado Street to start his day. Instead, he found his employer's body on the living room floor. Taylor lay face down, his arms were straight at his sides, and his legs were neatly aligned all out straight. It didn't look like the collapse of a man. It looked like someone had put him there.
Right.
Nobody collapses like a boar, like face down.
Right.
Like, that's weird. At first, because apparently this guy doesn't put two and two together, Peavy thought Taylor had fainted. Mm-hmm. But there was blood. Mm-hmm. That's not a faint. That does not make a faint. Taylor had been shot once in the back with a small caliber pistol. In fact, a very rare .38 pistol.
Yeah.
The coroner later estimated that he had died the night before around 8 p.m. Clues at the scene were super confusing. Nothing valuable had been taken. Taylor's wallet, jewelry, and watch remained, so this was not a robbery. A cigar sat in an ashtray. Smoking is bad for you people. Neighbors recalled hearing a loud sound at 8 that night, followed by what one described as a cry, "I'm tired of being made a fool of." Another witness swear they saw a man loitering outside, smoking cigarettes that were later found discarded on the property. Okay? And then there's the body itself. The position suggested Taylor had been moved after death because, again, that's not how you collapse. Some said his head had been carefully placed on a rug as if staged. The immediate investigation, police arrived to find absolute chaos. In the hours before law enforcement secured the bungalow, studio officials and fixers had already been through the rooms. That's not good. There were whispers about missing items. Some claimed a diary vanished from Taylor's home. Others said a key to his desk, along with papers tied to Hollywood business, were quietly removed. Witnesses swore they saw Paramount men rifling through drawers and seen carrying away belongings such as liquor bottles and papers before the police even arrived. Whatever the truth, what was taken that night has never been recovered. And it left a hole in the evidence that, I mean, that would have been really nice to have. These bastards. Investigators started questioning neighbors and staff. Peavy insisted he knew nothing beyond what he found. Residents of the neighborhood spoke of a mysterious figure lurking near the bungalows days before the murder, and others mentioned a car speeding away on the night of February 1st. There's no clear picture here. This is just the worst amount of evidence. It's just silly.
Yeah.
So, in any event, police collected physical evidence, and it raised just a whole bunch more questions. The cigarette butts outside hinted at somebody waiting. The single bullet matched a rare .38 caliber pistol. Inside, women's clothing was discovered among his possessions, a detail that was exploited in the newspapers, of course. And hovering over it all was the knowledge that this evidence had been scrubbed and removed from the bungalow. What is a bungalow? Is it like a condo?
Sure, I'm gonna go with that.
Is it like, I think of like a beach bungalow. It's like a little beach getaway. Like, not like this is in
No, I have
Hollywood.
no idea.
What's a bungalow?
I really don't know the definition. I was thinking, is it another similarity to a loft? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not rich enough to know what that is. In any event, the case gained momentum quickly. Detectives began pulling in names of people closest to Taylor, actresses, neighbors, employees. Some were questioned repeatedly, but nobody was ever charged. And every lead dissolved into speculation and interference. It was just one misstep after another, frankly. But as soon as the press got a hold of this, the coverage soared. Within hours of discovery, headlines blared Taylor's death across the country. Newspapers published photographs of the bungalow, lurid sketches of the crime scene, and breathless accounts of every little bit of gossip that they could find on Taylor. The letters from a young starlet, the rare pistol, there was a mother all involved, a comedian's cocaine habit,
Okay.
all became fodder for scandal. Papers weren't content with just the facts. They were weaving in tales of morality because, of course, Hollywood being immortal, and Taylor was cast alternatively as either a noble gentleman or a tragic victim of Hollywood vice or just a villain in his own death. Like, bonkers. The public devoured it. Like, of course they do. It's like TMZ, right and left here.
Esquire magazine.
Bullshit. For the studios, Taylor's death was more than just a murder. It was an absolute catastrophe of their unraveling image.
Yeah.
I mean, the clean veneer of all this glamour is being cracked, and behind it, Americans are now seeing the liquor, the drugs, the sex, the lies. It didn't just expose one killing; it is exposing all of Hollywood.
Yeah, and also he was a major producer. He was the employer, director, fucking whatever. And he employed these people.
He did it. He did. Well, and he was the face of it, right?
Right. The
yeah.
face of silence.
No,
silent movies.
Oh, I was like, yeah, he's dead. Oh,
Yeah, silent killer.
you're cute. Let's talk about the suspects.
Skeevy Peevy.
Oh, he's got a new name.
Yeah.
Well, he did find the body. So he has to be a suspect. So let's start with Skeevy Peevy.
Okay.
All right. Henry Skeevy Peevy. Suspicion fell on him briefly because he found the body. He's the valet. He's one of the closest people to Taylor. In crime stories, the guy who discovers the body, he's got a 50% chance that he did it, right? And this guy did not help himself. He smiled for cameras, cracked jokes with reporters, and seemed super comfortable with the sudden fame that he was getting.
See, I was just making it up, but he really was
No,
Yeah.
100%. The press dug into his past and found a recent arrest for social vagrancy. This is a vague charge often used against gay men in the 1920s.
Okay.
Vagrancy. That is foul. We're not going to go into that, but that's rude. It's rude. Frankly, that was enough to make him look suspicious in the eyes of everybody around him. But there is no evidence. There is no gun, no motive, no reason why his death would benefit him. In fact, it hurts him because now he's out of a job.
Right.
So in the end, Peavy was a sideshow, not a suspect. Very much a distraction.
Okay.
Of all the names linked to William Desmond Taylor, one caused more scandal than all the rest, and that is a woman named Mary Miles Minter.
Okay.
That is some alliteration, and I love it. This woman was barely out of her teens.
Oh.
She was a starlet, carefully packaged as sweet and innocent. But she was the author of the letters found in Taylor's bungalow, and this told a very different story. These letters were passionate, emotional, and they left very little doubt that Minter felt very deeply for Taylor.
That's what I figured.
The press devoured them, turning her from Hollywood's golden girl into a tragic figure in a forbidden romance. This is all contrived. I mean, yes, these letters were very personal and very emotional, but the press made this out to be this tragic love story that it may not have been at all. We do not know if Desmond Taylor's feelings were mutual to Mentors. Not sure. But it was her mother, Charlotte Shelby, who drew darker suspicion. Shelby had a reputation for being overbearing, controlling, and fiercely protective of her daughter's career. She is the stage mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Charlotte Shelby wasn't just angry about the age difference. Mary's entire career was built on being Hollywood's picture of innocence, and a relationship with a man twice her age, by the way, gross, risked shattering that image. Shelby also depended on Mary financially, and losing control to a powerful director threatened her influence and her income from her daughter. Friends describe Shelby as capable of violent outburst, but most damning, she owned a very rare .38 caliber pistol.
Okay.
The same type that was used to kill Taylor. Now, I'm going to have to look up how rare this actually was. Is this like 1 in a million or like 1,000 in a million? What's rare?
Sure.
Rare, or like rare? Yeah, you know where I was going with that.
I did.
When questions began swirling, the gun suddenly disappeared. She claimed, this is hilarious, she claimed it had been thrown into Louisiana bayou years earlier.
Okay.
Random. That's very interesting timing for the gun to go suddenly missing. Nobody knew about it before that. However, suspicions never turned into charges. Minter swore she had nothing to do with Taylor's death, and Shelby managed to keep herself insulated by wealth and influence. The whispers persist.
Huh.
Yep. Next, we have Margaret Gibson. She was not a major suspect in 1922, but her name surfaced decades later under really strange circumstances. Gibson had been an actress with a troubled past. She was arrested in 1917 during a vice raid.
Okay.
And her career didn't really recover from that. She knew Taylor, at least in passing. She lived in Los Angeles at the time of his death. In 1964, over 40 years later, while living in Hollywood Hills, Gibson reportedly confessed on her deathbed to killing Taylor.
Okay.
The story came from a neighbor who claimed Gibson, moments before dying, admitted outright to the crime. I mean, deathbed confessions do not impress me. First of all, it's hearsay because all we have is the neighbor said that she said this.
Well, that's one thing, but deathbed confessions, I don't know, man. They exist.
Do they?
They do. You know there's been some true confessions. Now, they say that sometimes you just say shit when you're that close to death. It really doesn't matter, but...
I feel like it's like the serial killer that ups his crimes while he's going to the electric chair.
Sure.
It's like, look how cool I am.
Yeah.
And like the guy that his brother said he was on his deathbed, he said, I must confess, but I cannot tell you.
Right.
Worst deathbed confession of all time.
Yeah,
and how that translated to I am D.B. Cooper, I don't even know.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's like, there's nothing linking her to the crime at the time. Like, there's no, what's the motive?
Yeah.
Pissed
her off.
Somehow. Next, we have Mabel Normand, one of the biggest comedy stars of the silent era. Mabel was a close friend of Taylor's, some said more, and on the night of February 1st, she was one of the last people to see him alive. That's a juicy tidbit.
It is. But if your name's Mabel, I'm pretty sure you're not even allowed to kill anybody.
Now. This is in the 20s. This is a popular name.
Mabel.
Apparently, Taylor walked her to her car just before 8 o'clock. If you remember, that's when somebody heard the loud noise and a shout. So that was minutes before the estimated time of the shooting. Yeah. The shout and the, I will not be made a fool of, shout But also, you think that Mabel is all squeaky clean. She was struggling with a cocaine addiction,
Yeah.
supplied by Hollywood's drug network.
Right.
Whew. Taylor had been urging her to quit, even threatening to expose her dealers. That gave rise to theory that his death was not about romance at all, but cutting off her drug supply.
Just a good old drug deal.
Right? Now, police questioned her. She freely admitted to the drug use, but there was never hard evidence tying her to the crime, except that she's the last person to see him alive.
Right.
And I feel like that's a big...
There's something to that.
There's something to that. Around the time that hinky stuff was happening.
Right, yeah. Yep, she, last person to see him. Well, you're free to go. I don't see any ties there.
That's weird, right? Bye! Now, Hollywood in the 20s was fueled by more than just films. Prohibition, making liquor illegal, still didn't squelch it, and it was, liquor was flowing freely through the movie colony, if you will. Cocaine and morphine, super common as well. And by some accounts, William Desmond Taylor was trying to intervene. He had confronted dealers supplying his friend Mabel with cocaine and threatening to ruin her career. Some say Taylor threatened to go to the authorities, which would have put him in the crosshairs of dangerous people, of course. There were also whispers about Taylor's personal life. Some claimed he was romantically involved with multiple actresses. There were also rumors about Taylor's sexuality. Some claim he had relationships with men, an idea that would have been extremely scandalous in the 20s. The discovery of women's clothing in his home fueled this speculation even more. I mean, was this evidence of a lover, or was this planted gossip? We know that there were fixers in the bungalow ahead of the police. It's very strange to find women's clothing there. Okay. Even if he was romantically involved with multiple women, he was a confirmed bachelor.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know.
You can't leave a dress over one night?
I think it was underwear.
Can't leave your underwear one night?
How are you losing your underwear?
I could go there, but just, you leave your underwear behind, right?
I have never left my underwear behind anywhere.
Maybe he said, hey, can you leave that underwear around? I'm creepy.
Maybe they were his underwear.
Ooh, that's even creepier.
Is it creepy?
To wear panties?
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
I didn't say you have.
Okay, just making sure. I jumped to conclusions.
You jumped to conclusions very quickly. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with wanting silky, lacy undergarments. They feel nice. They're nice.
Okay. No, I'm sure they do.
I think a lot of men wear them.
Okay. I don't really know where to go with that because, I think I'm not putting on panties. I like your panties, but I'm not, we're not going there, so.
For yourself or me?
For you.
Oh.
Right.
I'm just clarifying.
Okay.
It's okay if you like panties. It's fine.
I don't.
If you want to wear them, it's fine.
Nope.
I'm not upset about it.
No.
I feel like you're protesting a lot.
No.
Thou dost protest too much.
Yeah, that's sorry. Never.
All right.
I had a pair of pantyhose on back in my high school day, but that was for like a dress-up thing. But that's a whole different story. Really itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confining.
Really. Yeah. Oh,
pantyhose are stupid.
Yeah. Put things down there that just shouldn't have been there. Just woof. Anyway.
Oh, like your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? I'm sorry.
Be careful with your transition after that, because if you're able to keep a lot of that, you got to be careful with your next transition.
I know. Essentially, this theory is that they're, drug dealers, mysterious guys, studio randos that bumped him off.
Studio randos.
Studio
like
randos.
Okay. So that's so that's.
It's kind of the unknown theory of like a bad guy.
He pissed somebody off.
He pissed somebody off, right? Speaking of the studio fixers, the most chilling theory isn't one person at all, but the industry itself. Within hours of Taylor's death, Paramount men were inside the bungalow. They weren't grieving him. They were protecting the industry.
Yeah, right.
Witnesses swore they saw studio people removing items from his home.
Gently putting in his body in a weird position as well.
I know. But the question is why, and that's because another scandal could absolutely wreck Hollywood, right? The Arbuckle case before had nearly tanked it. If Taylor's murder exposed drug use, affairs, his sexuality, secrets, whatever, the fallout is going to be catastrophic. So the studios did what they always did, and they cleaned it up. And in doing so, they may have erased a killer, or they erased him because he was doing something he wasn't going to stop doing.
Right.
I don't know. Did they order his death? Maybe. Not so much. Or did they just clean it up?
I think they just cleaned it up.
To that point, who do you think it is? I mean, I think we're both in agreement that it definitely wasn't the studio that killed him, but they definitely just walked in and swept it under the rug.
Yeah,
Those scandals.
I think that's interesting just because, again, you think of the movie industry, which I know nothing about. You think of Hollywood, which I know nothing about. But it's a very, I wanted to say it's not the right word, secret society, but it is a society that lives in a different world. And
it's a bubble.
My point is, even back then, when it was being created, it proves they covered it up. They cleaned this thing up, and even back then, it was like trying to save, to your point, trying to save an industry. Mm-hmm. So
they definitely hid all the skeletons out of his closet. No, whether it was his sexuality, it was his relationship with a specific woman, with multiple women, with drugs and alcohol. I don't think he was doing drugs. He was definitely drinking because he had liquor bottles in his house. But I don't think he was doing drugs. In fact, he was very much against them.
Against this, that's what I was going to say.
He was against the drugs.
He just was with women that did drugs, which, hey, whatever.
So out of all we have between the drug dealers, Mabel, who was the last person to see him alive and had the drug addiction, Skeevy Peavy, Margaret, who had the deathbed confession, Mary Miles' mentor, who was in love with him, reportedly, or Charlotte Shelby, her mother, with the rare .38 pistol that suddenly disappeared.
If I had to go with anybody, it would be her. Shelby. Yeah.
I'm stuck between Charlotte Shelby and Mabel Normand, who was the last person to see him alive. Right. That's really strange timing.
Yeah.
But
maybe they were in cahoots.
I have a twist. Mm-hmm. They're not cahooting, but I have a twist.
Okay.
I think that Charlotte Shelby knew that her daughter was in love with William Desmond Taylor.
I do too.
She had seen the letters.
Yep.
She had seen the underwear.
Right.
She was disgusted. And she's going to go over there and she's going to confront Taylor and she's going to give him a piece of her mind. Mm-hmm. And there's Taylor putting Mabel in a car. Mm-hmm. Now, he's just trying to get her off this drug sauce. Right. She's sniffing cocaine, and he's not putting up with that anymore. He is done with it. And he's like, Mabel, get your shit together. And he's putting her in the car. And Charlotte drives up, and she's like, is this guy for real? My daughter's writing very beautiful and heartfelt letters, and this mofo is out here with Mabel.
Right.
And she's like, William, we need to talk, Bill. Let's go inside. And he says, I will not be made a fool of. And she's like, get inside. And so he goes inside, and they argue, and they get just so mad. And she's like, I've had enough of you. And she pulls out this really weird and rare .38 pistol that nobody else has. Mm-hmm. He ran away. She's got the gun. She's ranting and raving. He's like, shit, I got to get my gun. He goes for his gun, which is in the desk, the key that is missing. It was in the desk. And he goes to get his gun, and she shoots him. And she's like, oh, shit, I shot him. So she's like, well, maybe if I just make it look like he fainted. And then she thinks that when you faint, you fall stiff as a board. So she put him like that, and she's like, well, I got to go now. Then she's got this really rare .38 pistol that nobody else has. So she goes And she tosses it, and then she's like, I don't know what happened. I lost it in the Louisiana bayou.
Right.
We're in Hollywood. I have to wonder who was smoking in the bushes that was watching the place for a couple of days. I think that was the Mabel's drug dealer.
Okay. That's actually that's a good theory.
Yeah, he was like, what should we do about this guy? And then Shelby shoots him, and he's like, well.
I think you got this whole fucking thing figured out. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You know you do.
Yeah, I've had a lot of time to think. I've been thinking about this for like 3 years.
Okay.
The first time I heard this case was
Wow.
about 3 years ago. I've been thinking about it ever since then.
I'm glad you could get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about all that? You think that's plausible?
I totally think that's just without question. Without question. I mean, I just sat here in amazement. I don't need to say anything. She's got this whole damn thing going. So, congratulations, I guess, are in order?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All my hard work is paid off.
Yeah.
We can go now.
Okay. Right.
No. Let's talk about the culture impact, because you know how I feel about this. You got to wrap it up, and William Desmond Taylor's murder did not just shake Hollywood. It rattled the entire country's perspective on movies. This was not some rando, nameless extra or a struggling starlet on cocaine.
Right.
Taylor was a respected director, someone that audience trusted to craft the very stories that they loved. If a man like that could be at the center of a scandal, then what did it say about the industry as a whole? This pretty much shattered it. And frankly, the timing could not have been worse. This was just months after the Arbuckle case and trial that had turned into an absolute circus. It didn't matter that Arbuckle was acquitted. Nobody cared about his innocence. He was already guilty. He was painted as immoral and decadent, and so was the rest of the industry. Taylor's murder just reinforced all of that. Headlines called the industry corrupt. Preachers warned in church that movie houses were the dens of sin. Politicians began to openly discuss federal oversight. So for the studios, this is a nightmare. They had spent years crafting carefully controlled stories of stars as clean, wholesome, and larger than life. But now audiences saw something darker. They saw the liquor, the drugs, forbidden romances, secrets, and Taylor's death became proof that the glamour on screen was covering up all the rot behind the scenes. So this pressured the industry to take action. Ultimately, this damaged careers. Mary Miles' mentor was destined to rival Mary Pickford, and she never recovered from the headlines. Her love letters were splashed across them. Her mother, Charlotte Shelby, remained under a cloud of suspicion the rest of her life. Mabel Norman's reputation was already fragile because of the drugs, and it was further stained by being tied to Taylor's last hour.
Right.
So she's gone. Perhaps the most lasting impact was more symbolic. Taylor represented Hollywood's promise of reinvention. He was an Irish immigrant that made it to the California sun, and his death exposed the fragility of that promise. Reinvention could bring fame and success, but it can't just erase all of your demons, if you will. The Taylor case marked a shift. They still went to the movies, but that innocence was gone. And it shifted a little bit. Hollywood was no longer magic. It was a place where there was beauty, but also corruption, which frankly is real life. Like, give me a break.
I was going to say that's,
I have a funny story. A friend of mine from Australia, I was a roommate with her. We used to work together. And she came here when she was very young. She was either in her late teens or early 20s. And she said that when she arrived in the United States, she thought she was going to be greeted by like movie stars like Jane Fonda, and it was just going to be all sunny and beautiful and lovely. And she had no idea that life was not like that. She thought it was going to be like the movies, and she was totally shocked that that normal people don't live like that.
Yeah,
isn't that funny?
It is funny in a
weird way. I think a lot of people that have never met Americans or have never been to the United States have no idea what the U.S. is really like and just how vast and big and very diverse this country is.
I was going to say very diverse.
Not just the people. I mean, the people and the environment, the cultures, the terrain. Like, it is just a very vast and diverse place.
Sorry we didn't live up to her expectations.
I think she's okay.
Okay.
I like to do oddities and strange facts.
Mm-hmm.
I changed it from fun facts to strange facts because
Yeah.
nothing's fun about murder.
Right.
When you dig into the Taylor case, it's not just the murder that stands out, it's the little details that are super fun. Not fun. Strange. For one, Taylor's valet, Skeevy Peavy, he became a spectacle in his own right. After discovering the body, Peavy gave interviews. He smiled, cracked jokes. He was oddly at ease. In one photo, he posed cheerfully outside the bungalow, grinning like he was like at a picnic or something. Some people thought this meant that he knew more than he admitted. Others thought he just enjoyed the attention. Either way, he was in the gossip column for weeks. Moving on to the next one. Taylor had a habit of disappearing. Not just in 1908 when he disappeared on his wife and child. That's the big disappearance.
Yep, asshole.
But later in life, friends noted he would vanish for days, claiming business or travel, only to reappear without explanation. Maybe he was just a private guy. Like, leave me alone. I'm going to the beach, bitch.
Went on benders or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know, but like really weird. One oddity often overlooked is Taylor's library. You know how I feel about libraries. That's exciting.
Yeah, you like a good library.
Oh, I love a good library. Taylor was known to be a serious reader, collecting everything from poetry to philosophy. After his death, neighbors described his bungalow as filled with books, more like a scholar's study than a bachelor's den. The presence of so many volumes fueled the gentleman intellectual image that made his murder seem more shocking.
Okay.
That's interesting. Wow. And let's not forget about the funeral. Taylor's service was a major Hollywood event with stars, directors, and producers all in attendance. The crowd outside the church was enormous. We're talking thousands of fans. They were looking to catch a glimpse of the casket and probably also the stars that were in attendance. Reporters described women sobbing, fainting, and even trying to touch the hearse as if it carried a saint.
Okay, that's weird. I was wondering if the actors acted like they were crying because it was silent, you know.
Do you know in Italy they used to hire mourners that would sob and scream at funerals?
Okay, that's weird as shit.
There was a job that was a professional mourner.
That's weird.
Truth. Yeah.
A little tidbit there.
I have all the tidbits. Extra little things stuck in my think box. Can't get rid of, just like this story that I had to tell from 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another footnote, one of Taylor's last films, The Soul of Youth, filmed in 1920, tackled social issues like juvenile delinquency and the justice system. Critics praised it as progressive for the time. That sounds riveting.
Right.
After his death, some papers pointed to that film as ironic that a director so concerned with morality in art had become the centerpiece of a scandal in life.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh, this is weird. There's no aliens in this one.
Okay.
You are welcome. But in the months after his death, several actresses claimed to have dreams or visions of Taylor warning them to avoid certain people or situations. I would say, is it guilt, is it grief, or just lies?
Right. Okay, yeah.
Where would you go?
I would go with just lies.
Lies, exactly. And here is the oddest, strange fact of all. Most of Taylor's films are lost.
Okay, that's weird.
Silent films were shot on nitrate stock. Don't know what that is, but it decomposed
That's
easily
what I figured. It
and
disintegrated.
was prone to fires.
Yeah. Yep.
Out of the dozens of movies he directed, only a handful survive. So the man remembered for crafting Hollywood's early language of film is mostly not remembered for what he created, but for how he died, because we can't see what he created.
Right. Yeah.
I guess they got destroyed before they could transfer them over to celluloid.
Whatever it may, yeah, whatever it was, yeah. Yeah.
Video.
Mm-hmm.
DVDs. Yep, they're gone for good. That's weird. And so the murder of William Desmond Taylor remains one of Hollywood's darkest unsolved mysteries. A respected director and done by a bullet. Maybe secrets. And things. I had to keep going.
You did.
So, we conclude today's episode. What do you think?
You were very much, passionate about this story from 3 years
Oh,
ago.
I am never passionate.
No, okay. Yeah, right. So, no, it's good. It's good. We recovered from some rough starts on the, in the beginning of setting up, and here we are listening to you tell great stories.
I thought you were going to say we recovered from last week's crap episode
We did that too.
of Roanoke,
We did that too.
where you fell asleep on the couch while I was talking. Just kidding. Yeah, all right. So that was fun. Thank you for joining us on another episode of The House of Six. New episodes usually drop every Tuesday, but we're packing and moving, people, so we don't know. But it will be on a Tuesday. I just don't know which one.
That's fair. But you're on it. You're on it.
I'm on it. If you are interested in some extras, some polls, funny pictures, very exciting stuff, you can join the Keyholder tier at patreon.com/House of Six.
Sounds good.
You want to plug anything? You want to plug our YouTube and TikTok? You can find us at
YouTube and TikTok.
House of Six. Like and review, rate, subscribe, the things. We need some 5-star reviews, people, if you want this to keep going. And when you do that, it helps other people find us.
Yeah.
We reached 17 subscribers on YouTube.
It's a roaring start.
It's a roaring start.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It's good.
It's good. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Silks in the doorway, shadows that creep. A secret was buried where angels don't sleep. The cameras went dark, the whispers grew loud, and silence fell heavy over the crowd. A star in the night, a gun in the gloom, Hollywood secrets all locked in a room. The reel keeps on turning, the screen never shows what everyone wonders and nobody knows. Cigarettes smolder, the watchers still wait. The past is a shadow that closes the gate. The curtain has fallen, the stage has gone still, yet whispers of murder float over the hill. A house full of silence, a body at rest, a secret long hidden in Hollywood's crest. The dream factory trembles, the shadows still play, and no one admits who took him away.